talked about Sam's consistency being fairly impressive for a rookie. What is, in your opinion, the next steps for him going in the second half of his first season?
Yeah, just continue to develop in what he's done. I think nothing really has to change from his standpoint. Just being consistent, day in and day out, in the drills, in the classroom, and everything we do. So, and he'll do that. That's what he is.
This might be a little strange, but Anthony is, maybe a similar body type of guy. He's got some experience in this league. What has he brought to that room just as the guy that, walks in and suddenly has the most experience?
Who's that?
Anthony Fursker.
Oh, Fursker, yeah. Fursk is he's a guy that can do some things now, and he's been a productive player in this league. So having him out there and watching him on the practice squad and watching him run the routes against the defense, you can see why he's been productive. He approaches it the right way every day. So he's been great to have in the room. Yeah.
This is a little off topic, and I don't know if you cross paths with him in San Diego or not, but at least a contemporary of yours, Antonio Gates, Hall of Fame, possibility this year. Just do you have any recollections of him or any thoughts on him as a player?
Yeah, he came to San Diego after I left, and just that he's one hell of a player. I mean, obviously what he did, and for the extended period of time that he did it was neat to watch him play. He had a really unique skill set to play the game as big as he was. He's a hell of a player.
What was unique about it?
Just how he's a big frame guy, former basketball player, and how twitchy and how he had a great feel for the game. Not playing that much in college. Great ball skills. Give you enough in line. He was really unique and deserving.
Do you need more out of your second tight end spot? And if so, how do you get that? I guess.
Do I need more?
Yeah, Brock Wright. And
no, I think they're giving us everything that we need. They've done a really good job. Brock has consistently gotten better with technique things. He's as mentally tough as they come. He's smart. He's always in the right place. You can throw him in any position, and he's there for you. I think we're getting exactly what we need from a number two.
Seems like mental toughness is a really valuable asset in this sport. So what does it look like? What does a mentally tough player look like for you?
A bunch of different things. I think first and foremost, things are going to, kind of get off skewed at certain points in the game, go wrong for you individually as a team. Just to focus back in and being able to forget the last play, move on and go and worry about the next one. I think that's a big thing. And just having the mindset of, I'm going to go after that guy across the line from me. That's really important to me and in our room, that having an attacking type of mindset that we're going to go and get after somebody and get the job done.
Can you talk about the development of James Mitchell and what you see out of him thus far, and if you see more of a role for him moving forward in the season?
Yeah, no, James done a good job. He's had some setbacks with some injuries. But what I tell James every day, we're out there on the practice field, whether you're getting reps with the number one offense or you're getting practice squad reps, again, going against our defense, we're just out there to get better. And he does that. And I think, it's going to show up, him just being consistent and developing his skill set.
What do you make of Sam's football IQ and I guess his ability to process information?
Yeah, he does a good job just instinctively knowing how to play the game. I think that's the best way to put it. I'd say he has a high IQ football-wise, but like any rookie, there's things to learn. He processes fast. He's done a nice job. It's probably as good as I've seen from a rookie.
From the Chargers defense, they'd like to give they work well, not giving up the big play, physical defense. Your early thoughts on some of the challenges they may bring, Sam and Brooke?
Yeah, that's a really good group. There's a bunch of guys. The edge guys, 97, 52, 45, and then you got the backers who can run and hit. Kendricks has been in the league a long time, and he's a really good player. Nine's a good player. The safety 3, he's going to come downhill and make big plays. They're a challenge. They're a really good unit.
What's the challenge for the tight end position in particular when they're tasked with maybe blocking one of those edge guys? You saw Max Crosby last week. Like you mentioned, a bunch coming this week. What's, I guess, the key, especially in, I guess, one-on-one situations?
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges there, right? Max is unique. He's one of the best, if not the best in the league, and we see that every week. Like this week, we got a couple really good ones. So it's just trying to learn and trying to figure out them maybe a little bit, how they use their unique talents on defense and fit it in the scheme, and we're just going to try to do our job the best we can of matching our technique to theirs to get a job done. Really, that's it. And then, go at them with a certain mindset, attack.
Max Crosby is not a mismatch for Sam Laporta. He's a mismatch for any tight end in the NFL. I mean, that's just the reality of it. So when that happens, when it ends up being a one-on-one there, is that them scheming that, or is that a design where you trust Sam to be able to do his job there?
No, we trust him to do our job. And at the end of the day, we're going to run our plays, and obviously we're going to scheme. We don't want that matchup every play. But at some point, you're going to have to block the guy, who it is, whether it's the tackle, the tight end. Someone's going to have to block him. He's an edge player. And I think Ben does a great job of making sure we're not in those situations all the time. But at some point, we got to block them, right? And for the most part, my guys have done a pretty dang good job of doing that against some elite players at the edge position.
And just how valuable is that for Sam? I mean, just to see that elite player to maybe just close the gap of you don't know what you don't know until you see it, I guess.
I mean, the one thing walking away from that game, you could say, hey, I played against the best, right? It's not going to get any harder than it was. So that's a good thing for him. Just kind of, going through all those challenges as a rookie and checking the box and saying, all right, I played against him, I'll be all right. I can play against the next one.
That challenge, you guys and the staff and everybody been playing your best football by December. I guess coming out of this bye week, what does that look like? What has the conversation been like with you guys to kind of keep that level of intensity up?
Yeah, in my room, we just talk about being consistent. And that's with the practice, in the games, in the classroom. And that's really all I care about. Consistent energy, attention to detail, all the little things. We do that, we're going to be just fine.
He feels like the good part about this team, although you guys got 6 wins, he doesn't feel like you guys are playing the best football you can be collectively just yet. So I guess from your perspective, what areas can you guys improve at? I mean, from your position group, or just what has his message meant to the team coming out of the post-bye week to keep that up?
I think from a team perspective, there's always things that you can improve on, technical things. And, the thing that you love about bye weeks, we had a chance to evaluate and see what we're really good at and areas where we got to improve. And so there's plenty of things we can improve upon as a team. And then, I'll speak from my group specific. There's things that we can improve upon, with our technique on some things and just finishing plays, whether it's finishing at the top of your rush or finishing tearing off a block and making a tackle in a hole instead of making a tackle for 4 or 5 yards. Those are all things that we can improve upon. And, when you have a chance to self-scout and get away from it and just look at it through a different lens, you see those things, they show up. And so that's what we were focused on, just improving those little things. And I agree with Coach Campbell 100%. We're not where we're going to be as we keep trying to ascend. But, we can definitely keep improving and continue to get better. And, like Coach Campbell says, we want to be playing our best ball moving ahead. So there's certainly areas.
This may tie into that a little bit, but what is, you've had 3 games, I think, with, 5, 6 sacks and then the rest with 0 or 1. So how do you just be more consistent, I guess, with the pass rush? What do you need to do to get more consistent?
Well, I think, I know you guys look at the numbers and say, okay, it might not be consistent. But I think looking at it from a coaching eyes, I think some of it is, particularly maybe the scheme that we got, what they were doing. People, when you get bunches of sacks, sometimes in a game, people change up completely what they do and what they've shown on tape, and you got to adjust, or people try to come after your best rusher and things like that. So I think, the consistency of that is us just continue to find more ways just to continue to get our best rushers in the best position, and, us adapting in the game. And, and I talked about, I think the last time I was here was about, everybody just making sure we're rushing the right way. It works hand in hand, man coverage and rush and inside rush versus the outside rush. We all have to be in sync. And, you guys have seen when we do that, it comes out very, very well. So just, finding the way, you say consistency, to be consistent in that way, but also, those guys have done it. Teams have done a good job of mixing things up on us too, and we'll continue to find more ways. AG does a fantastic job of finding more ways and creative ways to help us with that. So that's what we'll continue to do moving forward.
You're talking about the next week, like after you have a big game, then the next team changes it.
Yeah. They watch tape too. They watch tape too. Just like we talked about. So we just got to continue, like I said, just to find different ways and to get our guys in the best position, and our guys taking advantage of the matchups that they get, and us working all together. Rushing coverage.
What are some of the curveballs they've thrown at Hutchinson in particular, and how has he sort of responded to those?
Well, you look at all the dominant. You look at all the dominant edge rushers, whether they're throwing two guys, sometimes three guys, at him to knock him off his rush, a wide receiver coming down and cracking as he goes on. They'll try to do different things to do that, but, we're trying to do different ways as well to move him around and just, give him opportunities and give our other rushers opportunities that we may, that we may find on tape or see.
Robert Martin saw his first game action before the bye. What was your takeaway, and just how valuable was the extra week of kind of looking back on it?
Well, I think for a young player like Broderick, anytime you get experience, especially on that stage in an NFL game, that's always really, really good. There's some positive and negatives that come with that. There's some things that Brod would tell you as well that he's got to improve, continue to work, and continue to improve upon. To be the type of player that he wants to be in this league, this is a definite grown man league, and you have to play like a grown man inside. And those are things that he's coming and he's continued to work, and he's made some strides. But like every player, you got to continue to make strides, and you got to continue to put that work in to get to where you want to be. And that's what he's doing. The guy comes to work every day. He practices hard. He gets extra afterwards, and it'll come with time. That it's one of those things. It's muscle memory, man. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. So we'll continue to work with this player.
We saw it with James Houston last year, kind of like 7 weeks to get here. How was that process for him waiting that long?
It's a learning curve, and I say that from even just being a coach coming in from, major college football coming to the NFL. For everybody, it's a learning curve. And, Broderick's coming from Western Kentucky, a solid program, to the NFL. It's a learning curve. You're seeing different linemen, and it's different, and you're learning a whole lot of new stuff, and you got to absorb all of that in. So, he'll continue, like you said, with Houston. It took a while for it to come, but when it comes, it's there. And so you keep working, because it eventually will come. You keep putting that work in and keep grinding on it.
John, I want to go back to Hutchinson for a second. Little question, he's taken a big step forward in his second season in terms of his ability to consistently affect the pocket, but we're looking at a 3-game streak without a sack right now, and you talk about the other elite players in this league, the TJ Watts, the Micah Parsons, the Myles Garrett's of the world. They don't have those droughts, I guess. You watch them, and they find a way through those double and triple teams weekly. And so what is the next step for Hutchinson to close that gap between really good and elite?
I think with Hutch, the way he works and prepares, it's going to continue to come. I know what you guys are saying. It's been 3 games, but when you go back and look at the tape, how many times has he affected the quarterback, or how many times has he drawn a holding call or taken 2 guys, allowing somebody else to go get a sack. So, you know, I get things are measured in numbers, but when you really look at the tape as a coach through a coach's eyes and you see what the impact that he's having, whether it's taking 2 or 3 guys or them isolating and focusing on him and allowing somebody else to win on one-on-one. So I think when you look at that, that's there on tape. And again, it's just a matter of time before it's boom, here it goes again. And so like you just keep working at it, man. I really mean that. I know you guys are like, you know, that status quo, but it's the truth though. You know, you continue to work at it and you stay diligent with your technique and what you and who you are, and it always works out. So I know that's his mentality, that his attitude. You're not going to find the guy that works any harder at it or that puts the time in. I mean, this guy's texting late at night saying, hey, coach, I can do this. I like this matchup or whatnot. So you're not going to find anybody else that's going to put more time in it or work at it than he will.
I'm just wondering how Charles Harris handled not playing against the Ravens and your expectations for him in the second half of the year.
You know, Charles is a professional. And, you know, one of the things that, one of the many things I love about this organization is, you know, you have to earn your keep at week in and week out. And that's, you know, and that's what Charles has doing. And so I think Charles' leadership and his effort and his attitude and mentality is contagious on this team. And so I think moving forward, you know, Charles will be there as we need him, and when we need him, he's a professional. He's going to work at it. He'll be right where he's supposed to be. He'll make that play. So we have all the utmost confidence in Charles. And so, like, just the whole mentality. You've heard AG say it all throughout his press conference. You earn your keep. You continue to work hard. I mean, you know, like us, we have guys, and there's great competition. So, you know, it could be on one week, off one week. You just never know. And, you know, sometimes it's based upon what we're seeing as an opponent or what we need for that week. So, you know, in our locker room, we don't get caught up in that. Our guys just come in, they go to work, they know you earn your keep, and when your number's called, let's ride. We're ready to roll.
Another guy who's maybe got to earn his keep, Levi. What does he need to do to get in the playing rotation and all?
Kind of the same deal, you know, with Levi. You know, I think we sometimes forget Levi basically missed 1.5 years of football. And, you know, that's a huge learning curve when you're not able to get out on the field. And so Levi's another guy that he has some great talent. And, you know, we see progression every day. It'll come for Levi. He has to continue to work, and he has to continue to show it in practice, which he's doing. And, you know, better yet, when you get that opportunity, you have to show that in the games as well, you know, because ultimately, as you guys all know, that's the ultimate measuring stick. You know, people want to see wins and losses and how you perform on that stage. And so, like, those are all the things that he's working at, but he works at it as well. And again, I am pleased at where he is. It'll come for him.
This year, like he'll get another shot this year to.
Oh, absolutely, man. This is a brutal league. You guys know that. I mean, your number can be called just like that. So you got to be ready and you got to prepare that way. Absolutely.
Back to the edge, it seems like you guys have rotated a lot at that Sam position, whether it's Charles or Julian or a little bit of Jack Campbell. Are you happy with the production you're getting from that group, or is it, you know, like you kind of mentioned, the game by game depends on what you need that particular week?
You know, we're in a good spot with that because we have guys that we can roll and do different things with at that position, and each of them all bring something unique to that position as well. So, you know, we'll keep doing what's best for the football team there. You know, all those guys, whether it's Jack or J.O. or Charles or whoever it is at the Sam, all those guys bring something, have a different skill set, and so we'll continue to work through that, and based upon what we're seeing that week, you know, that'll be kind of the guy that's up. You know, that's kind of how you work it. You play to each guy's strength.
With Jack, obviously the least amount of experience there, but you guys keep going back to him. So what are you seeing on the practice field that excites you so much as a coach that there's potential there?
You know, Jack is, Coach Shep has done a really good job with Jack. And I remember Jack, unfortunately, a lot of times when he was at Iowa, I was at Penn State. I remember my last game there, and Jack Campbell just killed us. Jack's an old school throwback football player. You love his attitude, his mentality. I love how he practices. So in a game, like we're all like, what's 46 gonna do today? You know, so he brings that kind of energy, that kind of juice, that kind of leadership. Coach Shep has done a phenomenal job with that guy. And so like we're all excited about Jack Campbell. I love him. He is a throwback. He fits Detroit, everything the city's about. He's that type of dude.
One thing he was beating himself up, I guess, about his get off. He says, I'm lighter than these guys. I should be getting off better than these guys. It doesn't make any sense. So I imagine a lot of that work is done with your group. So what are you doing to help him reach his goals there of a better get off time?
Well, I know Coach Shep and I and Coach Correa, we all work with those guys. We work with him on his get off. We're working with him on his pass rush. That was something that he didn't do a whole lot at Iowa. Working moves, Jack would like run through you if he blitzed the back, but he's a little different running on the edge. But I tell you what, that guy works at it. It's only a matter of time because he has a motor, he is quick, he's physical. Those things tend to work themselves out.